My name is Jasmine, and I will be discussing why pertussis, which is commonly known as whooping cough, is still prevalent in the Australian population and what we can do to further prevent this prevalence. What is pertussis? So pertussis is a vaccine-preventable disease. It's commonly distinguished by bouts of whooping cough. The classic symptoms of pertussis involve severe coughing, whooping, post-tussle vomiting, and all of these symptoms, unfortunately, can last for many weeks. Transmission of pertussis occurs through direct contact with respiratory droplets, often occurring through coughing and sneezing. Transmission of the disease occurs quickly from infected persons, with contamination reported to be high, with an estimated 90% attack rate from household contacts developing the disease after exposure. Before the introduction of the pertussis vaccination in the 1940s, pertussis was the leading cause of infant death. However, since the control of measles in 1998, notifications of pertussis are the highest of all vaccine-preventable diseases targeted by the National Immunisation Program. A resurgence of pertussis occurs approximately every 5 years within the Australian population. In the last 5 years, the national notification rate for cases of pertussis was 3 times higher than the previous decade. From 2006 to 2012, there were 156,000 notifications reported. Of the 7-year period between 2006 to 2012, there were 11 reported deaths due to pertussis. Of those 11 deaths, 10 of those were of infants under the age of 2 months old, whilst the other death was of an individual aged over 75 years old. Despite the re-emerging prevalence of pertussis in Australia, vaccination coverage is high, reporting at 92% vaccination coverage for pertussis for 5-year-olds in 2013. The most at-risk groups for death and hospitalisation of the disease are infants under the age of 6 weeks old and elderly over the age of 65 years old. The most at-risk groups for transmission of the disease are infants too young to be vaccinated, partially vaccinated children, and adults with waning immunity. It is not approved that individuals aged over 65 years old receive the pertussis booster vaccination. Therefore, the elderly would be a common cause for transmission as they would have waning immunity. It is important for individuals to be aware of the waning immunity of vaccinations and of catching the disease. Infection-acquired immunity from pertussis wanes after 4 to 20 years, whilst protecting immunity following vaccination wanes just after 4 to 12 years. Therefore, it is important to be aware about the importance of the booster vaccine. Pertussis vaccinations begin at just 6 weeks of age, following 4 vaccinations given within the schedule until the ages of 15 to 17 years old. A booster vaccination is available and recommended every 10 years due to waning immunity, while a maternal vaccination has also been made available and is recommended in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy. Vaccination for pertussis is the most essential component in order to prevent transmission of the disease. Whilst vaccination isn't available to all individuals, it is important that vaccination coverage is over 90% of the Australian population for the benefits of herd immunity, protecting individuals that are not vaccinated due to age, health, personal or cultural reasons. A cocoon vaccination is recommended, which is a booster, which is recommended to all individuals, especially family, before the birth of an infant that they will have contact with. It's also important that mothers also be vaccinated in their 3rd trimester of pregnancy, as this provides temporary protection to the neonate through placental transferred maternal antibodies and breastfeeding.